I remember sitting in my grandmother's kitchen, being held by the embrace of her special wooden chair, B&B green grease slathered from the top of my eyebrows to the nape of my neck, a hot comb sizzling on the open flame of her gas kitchen stove. The sound of heat and grease melting my scalp like the butter on her Monday morning cheese toast and laying my hair straight like the lines in her Sunday slacks. I remember sitting on the carpet in between my mother's legs as she parted my hair into sections of perfection, twisting and braiding and counting how many hair bows I better still have on my head by the time I got off that school bus. I remember doing the big chop and cutting my hair because I was tired of navigating the twists and turns of chemical burns from perms that still seemed to appear regardless of how much I didn't scratch. I remember locking my hair because my coils loved to be wrapped around each other, hugging each other for power and strength and resilience. So I embraced that. The relationship that I have with my hair has been a lifelong journey. And this relationship is similar to so many women that look like me. So many women that have been told time and time again that we need to assimilate our cultural heritage to the norms of this society. Told time and time again that our hair is too untamed, too unkempt, nappy. As a result, we have internalized this language and perpetuated it to generation after generation of little black girls whose 3A curly to 4C kinky chaos could never stand a chance in this relax-a-loved realm of the world. We are tired of microaggressions that come off like backhanded compliments like, "You have good hair for a black girl," or "Is your real hair that long?" or "Is that a weave?" We are sick and tired of being sick and tired of telling people to stop pulling and prying and touching our hair as if we are a spectacle of the imagination. This right here is real. And when we acknowledge the realness, the presence, the preservation, and the existence of black women and all of our appendages, that is when we become socially aware. That is when we become culturally competent. But what does cultural competence look like? How do we think, act, and speak with reverence to others? Well, it begins with us, black women. We must learn to eradicate negative language that demeans our natural hair. Long gone are the days of calling our hair ugly and nappy. All hair is good hair. Your hair is good hair. We set the standard for how we deserve to be treated. We must learn to love our hair the way our hair loves us because the world is watching. It grows in our social groups. How do we encourage the black women that we call our friends, our family, our confidants, and our lovers through their hair? We must create environments where black women feel safe to let their hair down. It evolves in our professional settings, for we live, work, and play in institutions that tell black women that our hair needs to lay down to be presentable, that straight, Eurocentric styles are more appropriate than afros and twists and braids and fades and locks and anything else that takes up space. Black hair is wild and unpredictable and beautifully crafted like waves in the ocean. It cannot be settled by the sands of social normalcy. It cannot be tinted by the tenets of respectability politics. There is no amount of heat or a hot comb or a perm that can change who we are. And if we cannot change ourselves, then we must change the world around us. Now that's easier said than done. How do we create a world that is more culturally competent to Black women's hair? Luckily, I have a few do's and don'ts. Rule number 1, do not touch our hair without permission. For we have had lineages of mothers and grandmothers, sisters and aunties that have sown prayers into our scalps. Rule number 2, do not ask us if this is our real hair or a weave. We either really grew it or we really bought it. You will find out in due time. Until then, respect the mystery. Rule number 3, do feel free to compliment Black women's hair. Black hair looks like this, and this, and this, and this. And all of these styles are beautiful. Instead of saying, you change your hair every week, try saying, I really like how you can rock so many styles, or a simple I like your hair will get the job done. When we follow these rules of cultural competency, we create a foundation of acceptance for Black women to be their truest, most authentic selves. We tear down traces of racism and prejudice that exist in our systems, and we build, and we build, and we build Black women up, brick by brick, hair strand by hair strand, until we all have a crown that is exalted high. Because that is social justice. That is cultural appreciation. That is the love in my grandmother's shaky hands as she pressed my hair. That is the patience of my mother as she braided and twisted and combed and curled my coils. That is the perseverance that lives inside me, because like my hair, I am strong and defiant and rebellion. And regardless of what comes my way, I stand up. Black women, like our roots, we must stand up in the face of adversity and demand a seat at the table. And to our counterparts, to the ones that love us and need us, it is your obligation, your duty, and your responsibility to create avenues of opportunity that support our hair, our hearts, our minds, and our bodies. Because diversity starts and is conducted in the quietness of our inner thoughts. To the intellect of our classroom conversations, the politics of our workplace policies, and every single corner of the world that we grace our presence with. The acceptance of Black women's hair is a microcosm of a larger conversation that we need to have about difference and culture and everything in between. Are you ready to start talking? Thank you.